Hi everyone, it's Tulsi Noreen with ScalePad. This is a companion video to go along with the LinkedIn article on technology debt. In the minutes to follow, what you're about to see is how to use the software report feature within Lifecycle Manager, taking those risks and translating it on the scorecard. We will then take a look at the roadmap capability that allows you to transpose those risks into recommendation to allow the client to further understand the seriousness and the implication of those risks and what it's going to cost financially from a project's point of view in implementing those changes within the organization. So let's begin. Here in Lifecycle Manager, I'm looking at my favorite client, Bad Services. To access the software report, I'll select Assets and then Software. Lifecycle Manager provides 4 canned software report that you can easily grab from the top. The example we are going to take a look at can be driven by the Office Suite report, but we'll skip that for now and take a look at the full software summary report. When reading this report, you will want to keep a few items in mind. First, is the software I'm looking at part of the approved stack for this client? Second, is the software at the most recent support version? And lastly, if the software is out of support or deprecated, we'll want to make a note of it and further investigate which system it is deployed on. The good news is all of this can be done within Lifecycle Manager. Now let's examine a few of these. Both ConnectWise Automate and Data RMMs shouldn't be installed on these systems. Fact is, we only need to run one RMM. As an MSP, if we're using Data RMM, ConnectWise Automate shouldn't be on our client systems. A few possibilities here on this one. First, we could have forgotten to remove all the agents when we taken over this client. It could be that the client is unhappy with our service and exploring another MSP service. Oftentimes, an MSP will drop 1 or 2 agents to perform discovery. The third scenario is a potential adversary behavior where legacy agents is used as part of a C2 campaign to establish a foothold here on the client environment. We hope this never happens because this is going to point to a larger problem within this client environment. Items like Dropbox are a perfect way to exfiltrate data from the corporation. These tools sometimes goes unnoticed with the enterprise versions because oftentimes folks are utilizing or mixing their personal accounts plus the one provided by the corporation. And the last example is deprecated software, products that is no longer in support and no longer receiving updates. You've got to keep an eye on these, especially if they are web-facing. Adobe Flash in this case has been out of market for a long time. There's a long list of vulnerabilities, and these products need to be isolated from other systems, replaced with alternatives, or removed altogether. All right, so let's leave it there in terms of examples. With our newfound knowledge of what's happening within the customer's environment, we can now apply these insights onto the scorecards and roadmaps. The scorecard is extremely flexible, and I have seen our partners utilize it in all sorts of ways, from showing a risk of non-compliance to project progression. In my setup, I'm going to use it to surface risks, their impact, and the required financial investments. From the software report, I learned this client had 15 employees, utilizing the legacy on-premise version of Microsoft Office, a combination of version 2013 and 2016. I'll take this insight and apply it onto the scorecard. I've created a section to discuss all software-related risk with the client, and with the ability to score and set priority allows me to highlight the importance of every risk. As you can probably tell, the scorecard doesn't allow for a whole lot of details on cost breakdown on this project. This is where roadmaps and initiatives will come into play. So let's imagine that I want to recommend to the client we get the Office migration project done second quarter of this year. From the Kanban board, I will simply create a new initiative and pre-fill it with a template I created ahead of time. Migration from on-premise Office to 365. Applying the templates pre-fills the name, summary, both the one-time fees and recurrent fees. If you have a project in multiple phases, labels can be applied to the fields to communicate the associated costs. I'm basing the recurrent fee on a $10 a month for a business standard license for each of the employees. To make this functional, I'll want to associate the endpoints that will be affected. By clicking on the Add Asset button, I am presented with this modal where I can filter assets for this client that has on-premises versions of Microsoft Office installed. Once filtered, I can add these assets to the recommendation item on the roadmap where the new recurrent fee is calculated, providing the client with a much more better understanding of total costs. With the recommendation on the roadmap, I can drag it forward into the future or into the past and update the status as I'm having a meeting with the client. I hope you can see from this quick demonstration how flexible both the scorecards and roadmaps are within Lifecycle Manager. Technology debt is a reality of all organizations, and as an MSP, it is important for you to identify those risks and surface it in a manner that is clearly communicated to the end user and clients you're supporting so they can actually understand their options in mitigating those risks. I hope you're enjoying this content on LinkedIn as well with this companion video. Take care, everybody. Chat with you soon.